What is that? What is that? Do you see that, babe?
Yeah.
May all your sweaters be merry, ugly, and bright. Happy holidays. Love, Kris and Cal. Thanks, guys. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name is Lindsay, and this is Life with Lindsay. Today, we have something special for you. Before we get into it, for those who don't know, that's the DaddaMonster. Yay! For those who don't know who the DaddaMonster is, that's my husband.
Hi.
So we are here. If you are new here, hi, welcome. My name is Lindsay.
I'm DaddaMonster.
My channel, I do mainly crafting related content, and I do diamond painting content and some other crafting related content. Words are hard. You'll hear it in both of us. Neither one of us have a full voice, but we're both getting there. If you hear like the smacking around, he's got some throat lozenges. Hopefully we have no choking.
It's noticeable.
Hopefully we don't have any choking incidences.
That's my bottle of water.
And I have a drink of choice today, which I love this cup. I've never used it, but I love it.
Hers is booze.
It says, drink some water, you beautiful and capable but dehydrated bitch. And I have, it's a cranberry, what was it, cranberry?
Cranberry pineapple.
Yeah, it's like cranberry pineapple cocktail, but there's no alcohol in it.
Myself.
No, he didn't.
Fresh from our cranberry bog.
No, he didn't.
In the backyard.
He got this from Ocean Spray. Anyway, so if you guys are wondering what we're doing here, we are part of the Crafting is for Christmas Craftathon. If you are coming to us from Kris and Cal, shout out to Kris and Cal. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. If you guys haven't clicked the playlist, I'll have it linked down below. It'll autoplay you into the next video. I believe Crystal is after us. It's changed a few times, so by the time this goes live, that may have changed. If you do not know what a live premiere is, which is what this is pre-recorded, and it is set to air. Ours is airing. It is Christmas Eve, and we will be live in the chat with you guys for the entire hour that this video is live.
Yeah.
Or airing, I guess, whatever you want to call it. So, make sure you guys click live chat. Make sure you guys are chatting with us, answering the questions yourselves. Telling us a little bit of what's going on with you. The intention of this crafting event is for people who may be alone over the holiday season. It is 2 days of crafting events, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I believe that Monday there's also videos. Please don't quote me on that, and I'm sorry if I just said the wrong information. But if you click the playlist, it'll just autoplay right into the next video.
I'm doing it for the hearing impaired.
But you're not doing ASL.
ASL?
American Sign Language?
I thought it was like ASL, like American Online. Like
no.
I was like, did you just say that wrong?
No. But if you are somebody who has nobody to spend the holidays with, or you are home on your own for whatever reason,
just don't like your family, and
maybe you've lost somebody and the holidays are hard for you, or maybe you're somebody who's getting up early to prepare the holiday meals. Hanukkah and Christmas overlap this year. There's lots of things going on in the month of December for lots of different people. But some people are just alone, and this is a great way to keep them company for whatever your reasons are. If you have a difficult time during the holiday season, if it's particularly hard for you, just know we see you. Have you ever spent a holiday alone? Not necessarily Christmas.
I mean, sure.
I've definitely spent Thanksgiving alone.
Yeah.
Away from my family, which is really hard. And I've definitely had a holiday season after a large loss in the family, which was also very hard.
Yeah, so, I've spent a holiday. I can't tell you what holiday.
So for anyone who is out there who is feeling alone, please know you are not alone. Come hang out with us. And if you like what you see, well, we're both married, but if you like the content we're providing, subscribe to the channel. Come hang out. If you are seeing this and you've been subscribed for a while, thank you guys so much. I've been MIA, but I'm here. Yay. And if you're new to the channel, I got lots of videos. I did this last year. If I can remember, I'll put that
last year too.
Yeah. If I can remember, I'll put it either up in the eye or down below. Either way. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm like trying to cheers and he's scratching his armpit.
Scratching my
Why does this look like breast. The same
No, my armpit.
The same color as my eyes. not that anyone can see it, but my shirt, it says Bay Goals. And then my daughter asked me today,
Mine's black.
Can you eat bagels for Hanukkah? And I was like, I mean, sure, eat bagels, whatever. Unless it's Passover. That's a different story. So, we asked a question on my Instagram, which if you do not follow me on Instagram, I'm at Life.W.Lindsay. I'll leave all of my information per usual down below. DaddaMonster here is a channel he hasn't updated in
A year.
Has it been that long? Okay, so subscribe to his channel, but have low expectations. But follow him on Instagram. If you guys don't know what my husband does, if you're like, why do you keep calling him the DaddaMonster?
It's my legal name.
No, incorrect.
My mother gave me that name. It's a family name. I come from a long line of DaddaMonsters. And the first DaddaMonster. Oh, hold on.
Incorrect. That's
Came here
incorrect.
from Ireland in 1783.
Would you like to tell people what you do? Why they should follow you, besides your witty humor?
I
And
customize Funko Pops. You can check me out at DaddaMonster on Instagram, DaddaMonster on Facebook, DaddaMonster on Twitter, DaddaMonster on Snapchat. I don't post on Twitter or Snapchat. But
his Etsy shop is linked down below. All of his stuff is linked down below. Just follow him. He sells lots of stuff.
yeah,
So,
I forgot about that.
So let's get into the questions. I asked people in real time. I'm recording this. It'll be a few days before.
Pushing my head.
Oh my God.
Pushing my head.
And just so you guys know, if you hear what sounds like a stampede happening, our 5-year-old is above us. And
She's 9 feet tall.
she sounds like she weighs 700 pounds when she runs across the room. I would also like to say, in case you guys are curious, this is not our normal background. The pop wall is not here. This is probably one of the only places we can film. And then I'm going to have to hide all of this when we're done because I don't want the tiny human being like, why is there a ring light?
We're going to green screen behind us so that we're actually in the Bahamas.
We should have actually put a green screen up.
Yeah, we should have.
You have lozenge drool, yeah. So I asked if anybody was curious on Instagram, if they had any questions, like an Ask Me Anything Hanukkah edition. If you guys did not know, I celebrate Hanukkah. My family celebrates Hanukkah. We celebrate Hanukkah with our kid. And so I would love to answer some of those questions for you guys. And then we found a couple tag questions. I'm sure we'll have some stories. But we'll be here with you guys for the next, 50 minutes at this point. So, all right, the first question. So Jamie asked...
From Jamie's pants.
Nope.
From Jamie's pants.
Sorry,
Reading's
Jamie.
tough.
Sorry, Jamie.
Not from your pants. What does your menorah look like?
Okay.
That's personal.
So, for anyone who doesn't know what a menorah is, it's a menorah or a Hanukkah. It is the candelabra that is used, and you light candles every single night. Mom fail, I forgot to grab candles. So this is what I have left for this year, which obviously won't get us very far. If you buy a box of candles, a full box of candles is 45 candles. You are supposed to light, there are 8 branches, and then the 9th one is called the shamas. It is typically in the middle. Sometimes it is on the ends, and it is higher than the others. And that one, woo, don't fall off the table. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that this, what's this called?
An extension cord?
Extension cord doesn't fall off the table, because if you guys saw the rig that is happening here with the amount of wires and things, if it falls, the whole thing will come crashing. Anyway, so the first night you put 1 candle in the shamas, and the shamas is used to light that candle, and then you let them both burn down. And then the next one you put 2 for 2 nights of Hanukkah in the shamas, and they burn down, and that's how you get to 45. So I will share... This is the menorah that was given to me by my parents. Kirsten, if you're watching, I'm sorry. That's my sister. So it is very, not art deco. I don't know, but it's a bunch of people.
Art Gecko.
Not art gecko. I'll put it above my head so you guys can see it against the wall. And as you guys can tell, this one is higher up than the others. So that would be our shamas. This one has been in my family for decades. and this one was given to me. This is not a very traditional one. None of the things I'm showing you here are traditional. So this is the one that we've been lighting together since we've been together. This is the one I've been lighting as an adult on my own.
This is the one that came over with the other DaddaMonsters on the boat.
Nope, incorrect. And then last year, so let me preface this by saying, he dropped the cap, so let's hope he doesn't spill. I do not live in an area where there is any sort of like Jewish population. So when I see these like videos or TikToks or reels of like, oh my God, look at the dollar spot at my Target. I don't have those things. I don't have any of those things. So somebody last year got this for us and then shipped it to me, and I paid more money in shipping than I did for the actual product.
This is a traditional menorah.
Nope, not traditional.
Oh.
I mean, it's traditional in the sense that like the shaman still goes in the middle. So this is just a white ceramic, like it still has the $5 price tag on it. And then you just put your candles in. So, I know you guys are looking at me through something that's going to be flipped. But what you do is the middle one is your shamus, like I said, or the tallest one. And then you put them in from right to left. And then you light them from left to right. And I'm now realizing when you guys are watching this, it's going to look backwards because unless I don't flip it. We'll see. Just know what I'm talking about. So this one is Briar's. She loves this one. It is not easy to clean. If anyone has any great tips, hot water did not help. And that's that. But we also have, and yes, it's pretty common for people to have multiple menorahs. Nothing here is sponsored. Okay? Let's just preface it. This is a wooden set that my mother got Briar. You can see this is more traditional where it has, trying to get the ring light out. So the four, and then the one in the middle. This is your shamus. This is a great option for kids because it is flameless. And so what you're supposed to do is you put your candles in, you let them burn all the way down, you say your prayer. You are typically supposed to put them in the windows so that people can see. But I also have a child, so we don't put them somewhere where she can set the rest of her house on fire.
No, even the flameless ones, we don't trust her. She'll figure it out.
She runs off with parts
together and start a fire,
or steal the parts.
Yeah, she's not to be trusted.
What do you got?
So,
Kiona,
okay.
Or Kiana. I don't know. I'm sorry.
How are the days of Hanukkah determined, since it's different dates each year?
So Hanukkah is the same every single year on the Hebrew calendar. It begins on the 25th of the month of Kislev. And so I'm going to butcher this. I believe the Hebrew calendar is a lunar or solar calendar. It's the opposite of whatever we have. So, the Hebrew year begins in like what would be like September in our time. And it begins with Rosh Hashanah. That's the Jewish New Year. And then it's the same on the Hebrew calendar every single day, but it's not like our calendar that has 365 or 366 if you're in a leap year. So that's why it varies on our calendar.
It's true. Growing up as someone who didn't celebrate Hanukkah or know anybody that did, you just always assume that Hanukkah is always a Christmas. So it throws you off when, like, last year,
November.
I think it was, like, hella early last year.
Sometimes it is in November.
Yeah, it was, like, it ended.
It overlapped with Thanksgiving one year.
It ended by my birthday, which my birthday is the beginning of December. So.
Yeah. And just in case anyone is curious, nobody asked me this, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Hanukkah is not Jewish Christmas. There are a lot of people in our area that specifically think that it's similar, and it's not. It's literally a festival of oil and lights. And a miracle. I can go into the history if you guys want it, but go ahead. Next one. What do you got?
From Nick.
Cynthia.
Okay. I would love to hear how your family celebrates. I will gladly share it with my littles.
Oh, thank you, Cynthia. So, before the pandemic, our family used to do a Hanukkah hangout, and we actually really wanted to do one this year, but sickness got a hold of our house, and it's just not going to be plausible. But Hanukkah is like a fun... Okay, in all honesty, a lot of Jewish holidays are about fleeing and eating, okay? Let's save our people, let's eat and celebrate.
Dashing.
Stompy Magoo over there. I don't know if you guys can hear it. When I hear the playback, I'm going to probably be like, they can't even hear her. But, so, the quick shortened version of Hanukkah is they had enough oil to last them for one night, and it lasted 8 nights. And that's why we celebrate things
Sorry,
fried.
I keep yawning, everybody.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm boring. So we would do a Hanukkah hangout where we would make it a super laid-back way for our friends to come and enjoy some of the traditional dishes, learn a bit about the holiday, play dreidel, listen to some klezmer music, just have a good time. Growing up, I would always go to my one cousin's house. She always cooked. But traditionally, the way I grew up, we would get like one big gift, and then the other nights would all be like little gifts, like socks, dreidels, gelt, things like that. Acts of service. So
It's candy.
What?
Gelt is candy.
Yes, chocolate coins. I did a coat drive. I've operated can drives. We sponsored a family. We did that more than once. I worked at a soup kitchen, things like that. So in that sense, it's definitely not like Christmas. Like, it's not gift heavy, which I shouldn't say like that, because
Some places, some people are.
correct. And some people are not. Some people are all about the spirit of giving. And in that sense, it is similar of like, I always try to teach my kid, at least, that no matter where you are, like no matter where we are in life, we always have more than some people, and we always have less than others. You should always be thankful for what you have, and to give back to those who need it more than you do. But for me, the traditional, we light the candles every night. It's supposed to be at sundown. Sometimes it's before, sometimes
As close
after.
as we can.
Yeah, Briar asked me if we could light them before dinner tonight. I was like, I don't know what time dinner is. We're not going to worry about that. So we light the candles, say the prayer.
Yep.
We usually have at least one night during Hanukkah where we have a traditional meal. For us, that was the first night of Hanukkah this year. We went down to my parents. And it was traditional in the sense that we had latkes, which was interesting because it wasn't...
I mean, salmon's not a traditional Hanukkah thing.
Yeah, it's not really. I mean, there's no such thing as like a traditional, like full traditional meal. Like, it depends on who you are. Like, for me, my mother makes the best brisket, and not like barbecue brisket. They're totally different animals here. Well, they're the same animal, but totally different beasts.
She's
but
an elephant.
it would be, for me, whatever the protein is, matzo ball soup, latkes, depending, noodle kugel.
Choice.
Yeah, just,
Brussels
but,
sprouts.
I mean, really, our tradition is mainly do the prayers every night.
Gefilte fish.
And also, actually, this year, again, not sponsored. I got this from Target's website because I couldn't find it near me.
Brought to you by Target.
No, so I got this. This Mondo Llama brand. If you guys have that in your Target, they've got a lot of really great crafting stuff. So this is kind of like every single night she can open this up and grab a different craft project out. And the first night, which was technically last night when I'm filming this, we made this dreidel. I'm gonna have to flip everything because it's backwards. And it's just paper that's folded, and there's like adhesive and then a dowel rod, and then she put the letters on. I told her what order to put them on. And there is fun meaning to it. If you guys would like to know more of this kind of stuff, let me know. But the letters here, where are we here? So it'd be Nun, Gimel, Hey, Shin. So it stands for Nesgadol Hayom Sham, which means a great miracle happened there, as in Israel. In Israel, there's, instead of the Shin, has a Po.
Great miracle
So,
happened here.
yeah. But this means you get none, you put none in. Gimel means you get all. Hey means you get half the pile. And Shin means put one in. Do we teach our kids to gamble at a very young age? Yes, we do. But the coins are chocolate and not real money. Anyway, what do we have next? Megan.
Megan loves crafts and Disney. Wrote us and asked politely, seriously, do you celebrate together all 8 days?
Do we celebrate? Not so much. Do we do the prayers and like the bare minimum? Yes. It's going to be a little bit different as we get older.
Like last night, if we would have waited, or, some nights we don't get home till late and it's right to bed. We probably still light the candles, but we probably not light.
Listen, there have been plenty of times where our kid has gone to bed because we were running late, but I will still light them.
Correct.
And I will still say the prayers with my husband. To me, that's very important. But it's not, for us, it's not 8 days of like festivities. But we are together, all 8 of them. We're together all the time. What do we got? Danny asked.
Whoa, Danny. Did you get B anything special for the first night? I'm her father. What else does she need?
So we let her pick one of these, as I previously mentioned. So People are probably going to come for me on this. And let me know your guys' thoughts on gift giving down below.
And
In general, my husband and I are not huge physical gift givers.
Mental gifts.
No. We are more like for my birthday, for his birthday, we are both more, let's have a great meal or like a great experience. Like I'm more into that than just stuff. Now, of course, if there is something I really, really want, and I'm like, this is what I want for my birthday, he'll be like, okay. And vice versa. What?
I'll let your parents know.
But, like I said earlier, I didn't grow up where it was like over the top gifts all the time. So for me, like I physically have no real presents for her for Hanukkah. We've got little things like this. She's excited to do craft projects. I'm going to have her help me with something for her classmates. And I know she's going to find that to be exciting, even though it's really mundane stuff. But in general, I didn't get her anything special because we don't really do, I mean, this is a kid who does stuff and gets stuff on the regular. And not in like a, oh, she's a spoiled brat kind of way, but like this is a kid who ice skates, for example. So, you know, how do you wrap, and here's unlimited ice for you, you know, but.
And we'll get her little things when we go out a lot of times. So it's not like, you know.
But no, I don't have like a box of 8 gifts for her or anything like that. That's what my parents did for us. And my mom was talking about it last night where like we would like shake the box, try to figure out what was in it. And,
Dead cat. All right, next question comes from Jennifer Uncoolidge. What are the things / traditions / foods you look forward to the most?
Okay, so for me, I live in an area that does not have a Jewish deli. Like I have to drive back home, which is an hour and a half away if I want a Jewish deli. So for every Jewish holiday, it's always matzo ball soup. I like latkes. I feel like I don't like latkes as much as some other people do. If you don't know what latkes are, they're just like a shredded potato pancake. It's like a giant hash brown.
I love them.
But like in a perfect world, if I could have like the perfect Hanukkah meal, it would be my mom's brisket, matzo ball soup, latkes. I probably would want noodle kugel, a good vegetable,
chopped liver, gefilte fish.
These are all traditional things. He didn't grow up eating those things.
I grew up eating good food.
Okay.
Gefilte
but I hope
fish.
Did I answer the question?
Yeah.
Is there anything you
any traditions?
Other than like lighting the candles?
No, not really. Things I would say getting to see your family. So the first night of Hanukkah. All right, let's go to Kel's question.
Yes.
What is your favorite Hanukkah memory?
Okay. Boop. Actually, I do have a good Hanukkah memory. So I grew up in a house that had like, have you guys ever been in like a formal living room? Okay. It was a house that had a formal living room where like we never went in there except for like once a year to do Hanukkah. Like we would unwrap our gifts and then get out of there because it had a super fancy white couch and a bunch of kids on white couches. I honestly don't know if my parents entertained in that room, but anyway, not the point. Each one of us would get a big box. And my mom was telling us about this last night where it would be wrapped and then all the little gifts would be inside. And when I tell you guys, like, I literally would get little gifts, like, I would. So the one year, we got a big gift and it was as a family. And so we were opening up, like, our smaller gifts. And I opened up, I don't know if it was Nintendo or a Super Nintendo game. And I looked at my one brother and my parents, and I was like, well, we don't have a Super Nintendo. And then I was like, well, that clearly means we're getting a Super Nintendo for Hanukkah. And I think I ended up opening that gift on like the first night of Hanukkah, and I couldn't do anything with it because we didn't get to the big gift. And it just made me giggle because I was like, you guys ruined the present. They didn't ruin anything. I was impatient. I was a little kid. But that's probably, I don't know that that's my favorite, but that's one that always stands out because I always laugh about it.
My favorite Hanukkah memory was celebrating our first Hanukkah with Briar.
She was like days old.
Yeah.
She was not having it.
She did not enjoy it.
We literally just watched the video the other day and she's like this big, just.
All right, so our next question comes from Painting a Pity. How do I know where Hanukkah starts? when Hanukkah starts, sorry, for those who celebrate.
Your easiest way, in all honesty, is Google.
Same thing I use.
So, here's the other thing.
Or calendars. Actually, most calendars will have Hanukkah.
And here's where the complication is. Every Jewish holiday begins at sundown the night before. So a lot of calendars will say today as being the first day of Hanukkah, which today is the first full day of Hanukkah, but Hanukkah began last night. Well,
been drinking since 8 a.m.
Where we are in the present time, not in the time you guys are watching this, Hanukkah began last night on Sunday. And it is just one of those things that's probably your easiest way, unless you happen to have a calendar that is both our calendar and the Hebrew calendar. That's your easiest way.
And we have like one of those Google Home things. So if I were to say, when does Hanukkah start? It would be like starts the night of. It lets you know. But honestly, we do the same thing. We don't know.
And this year, everything was like the 18th, the 19th, the 18th, the 19th, and I'm like, which one is it? But anyway, Maria,
she asked, do you have any special meals for each day?
No. We usually do. So usually, depending on how the schedule works out, it's nice. We usually try to get the first or second night down with my family. And we typically have those traditional dishes that I mentioned earlier, matzo ball soup. Matzo ball soup and latkes are usually, we did not have matzo ball soup this year. So there will probably be a night this week that I make matzo ball soup. I really want to do, I saw a recipe for noodle kugel. He's not super into that. If you guys don't know what noodle kugel is, it's basically like bread pudding with egg noodles instead of bread. It can be sweet. It can be savory. My only thing is it cannot have raisins because raisins are the bane of my existence.
It cannot be delicious.
It is so delicious. I'm going to grab my water. Hi, guys.
It cannot be delicious.
I drank all my cranberry stuff. I've been on a kick of really cold beverages, which is weird because cold beverages hurt my teeth. But yet here I am.
I worked retail my whole life. I was on a kick of room temperature beverages for about 30 years.
Yeah, that's true actually.
All right, next question.
Yes.
From Molly.
Molly.
What is the most exciting part of Hanukkah? Are you most excited to share with Briar?
So we live in an area, as I mentioned earlier, where Judaism is non-existent. I am hoping the biggest thing that I want my daughter to take from Hanukkah is her excitement for it, teaching her friends why we play dreidel, how we play dreidel, about lighting the menorah, about the food, things like that. My biggest wish and desire is that my child grows up being proud to celebrate Hanukkah and not sad that she doesn't celebrate Christmas, which is a very hard line to straddle. But like I said earlier, a lot of the holiday stuff is really around food. So yesterday we were at my parents' house, literally everything. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. And I go, okay, here, Daddy, you can have her plate. And then all of a sudden she's like, I love it. This is the best. She had 2 servings of salmon. I think she wanted more green beans. She's like, I don't want the crunchy stuff on top. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't want the crunchy stuff on top?
She thinks she knows what's good, but then we tell her what's good.
Or she tries it, and then she's like, yeah, this is delicious. Right. So, but I mean, really, my biggest thing is I just want my child to grow up and be proud of who she is, and teaching her the history of the holidays, I think, is one way to do it. We also try to stay active with events at the JCC, and so we missed the Hanukkah Carnival this year just because it didn't work with our schedule, but yeah. So, do you have any Hanukkah things? So, my husband did not grow up as a Jewish man. So, he's only been celebrating Hanukkah since we've been together, which has been a long time now. But
I was invited into the tribe.
That's true. Is there anything about Hanukkah that you love and want to make sure that that's something that she loves too?
I feel like it's the same way I am with Christmas. I just want to make sure family's involved, and that's the most important aspect that we follow through and teach Briar. Is holidays in general should be about family.
Is there any part of Hanukkah you like?
Maybe not Labor Day, but like, you know, like Thanksgiving and Christmas and Hanukkah. And
was there anything about Hanukkah that like you specifically like, or like you were surprised to learn about, like when we started dating?
I mean, basically, as far as learning, you already covered it. It's not Jewish Christmas.
Yeah.
I think anybody who doesn't know somebody Jewish automatically assumes it's Jewish Christmas.
Yeah.
I was shy by me get presents, or that's the way it's billed as you get 8 days of presents.
Now there are plenty of Jewish families that are really big on presents, but
presents have a presence.
You know.
They're Hanukkah.
Okay, so.
That's it.
Okay, so we found like a Christmas tag question. So we're gonna pull these up, and if you guys have any other Hanukkah questions, please feel free to ask them down below, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Here, I googled like holiday questions because I wanted to know, like, so if the wording is off, we're just changing the word Christmas to holiday so that it's all encompassing. But there's certain things like that might not be relevant for me.
Who's your favorite reindeer?
Rudolph?
Dasher?
I mean, could you name all of them? There's Dancer and Prancer, Dasher and Donner.
Shh.
How many are there?
Dasher, on Dancer, on Prancer, on Donner and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid.
Something in Blitzen.
Yeah, I think that's 9.
How many are there, though?
8.
But you just said 9?
I know, I added one.
Who's your favorite reindeer? Let us know down below.
Donna Dixon. That's the one I added.
So we're just going to pull a couple of these random tag questions. And because you guys are live in the chat with us right now, and if you are watching the replay, you can click live chat so you can see what other people are saying.
If you're live in the chat with us, I'm doing it from the bed, okay?
Yeah, we both are. If you're live in the chat right now, just give us a bunch of random emojis. But also, make sure you guys are answering these questions as we're playing along. So you don't have to go
out loud. You have to answer them out loud.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. But also in the chat.
Top of your lungs. Screaming it.
If you guys are watching this live, it's airing quite early in the morning, so... Yeah.
Make sure you're screaming loud.
Sorry if you guys are West Coast.
Especially West Coast, yeah. 4 o'clock in the morning, you want to start
Kris and Cal, thanks for hanging in there.
Yeah. Thanks, Kris and Cal. All right. What is your favorite holiday song? This says Christmas Carol.
It does say Christmas Carol.
Little Drummer Boy is my favorite Christmas Carol.
So, I don't know that I have really any, like, Christmas song. Okay, so my mom is, like, hardcore Christmas music lover. I am not. I like Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah.
Okay.
But, I mean, Christmas Carol, I mean, like, who doesn't like Jingle Bells? But you can only hear Jingle Bells so many times before you're like, I'm going to lose my Jingle Bells right now. You know what I mean?
I never want to hear Mariah Carey. Ever. I worked retail. Can't. Which? What is the best gift you've ever received for your holiday?
I don't know that I have a gift that I was like, you know what, that's the favorite thing I've ever gotten. I would say the most impactful gift that I ever got, there was a woman who lived in my grandmother's building. My grandmother lived in a building. It was a very interesting array of elderly people. A huge Russian population. But there was a woman that lived in the building, and we sponsored her granddaughter for the year. She had no winter anything, so we got her new winter coat, new winter hat, gloves, shoes, boots, all of that. And if I remember, she was about the same age as me. She might have been a few years younger than me. She wasn't like a little kid. That did not sound good. It sounded like Briar jumping around upstairs. But it was something that I remember very distinctly. And I was a kid when this happened. I might have been like 10, 12 years old. And I just remember thinking like, wow, something as simple as a coat, which I took for granted that I had not just one winter coat, but I had more than one winter coat, that this was somebody who like literally didn't have any, and her family just couldn't afford, I don't know if they just couldn't afford to size to the next size, or just, I don't remember the circumstances, but I just remember how impactful that was. And it really showed me as a kid how much more I had than other people. I was always aware there were people who had more than us. Like that, everybody's aware there's always somebody who's richer or who has a bigger house or who has, things like that. But it really just made me realize like how much I had and not to take it for granted. And I was super appreciative. And then I decided to take those acts of service and do them on my own, organizing can drives for my school and things like that. What about you?
Well, you see, I'm going to have something heartfelt. Not just kidding. I'm going to be totally selfish here. My favorite thing for Christmas I ever got was when I got all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, including the Turtle Wagon and the sewer playset.
That's a great...
Yeah. That's not quite as heartfelt as
also, I will say, so Brian's mom, he has a real name, you guys. Brian's mom,
how dare you use my
your legal name, gets me opera fudge every year, which is a local, they're kind of like bonbon truffle things. They're delicious, but they're very central PA, like Pennsylvania Dutch thing, and she gets them for me every single year, and it's like this little box. It's not very expensive, but she's done it since we've been together, and I very much look forward to that.
All right. What's our usual plan for the holidays? Lindsay's
Hanukkah, yeah.
I told you her family with Christmas. We go over to my brother's.
Usually.
We try to see my mom earlier. My parents are divorced. We usually try to see my mom earlier in the day because her and my brother live
very close to each other.
5 minutes apart, so...
But the one thing that sucks is the pandemic has really made it hard for us to do that. Because, like, I remember a couple years ago, like, before COVID was everywhere, and we went over, and, like, Brian made his mom breakfast, and it wasn't anything extravagant, but she just was like, oh my gosh, my son's a chef, and she was just really, really into it, and...
I'm not a chef.
He's a good cook. Yeah.
But we go to my brother's, and we get to spend it. We've been doing that since his kids were little, so...
And now they're... high school and college age.
Yeah. All right.
But that's always nice.
How do we decorate a Christmas tree? We don't.
No.
Growing up, I did. We would do it the first Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Oh.
And we used to always... So, where I lived, we had a basement, main floor, and then upstairs.
Real or fake? Tree.
Oh, I thought you were talking about my house. Like, it was real. It was not a tree house. We fake. We real one year, and we never did it again. There's like pine needles everywhere. But we would store all the stuff in the eaves upstairs, and then we'd bring it...
In the what?
The eaves. It's probably a Pennsylvania touch term. I don't know. It's basically like little storage things upstairs.
How do you spell that?
With an E. And an S at the
If
end.
you guys know what they are, let me know.
There's like little like hidey holes that were upstairs. Hidey holes, not hiney holes. But anyway, I'd bring all the stuff down, and we had like a spiral staircase. We decorate the tree, put up the stuff, and then put it back upstairs, and then bring it all down.
When did you guys take down your tree?
Usually it was like the weekend before I went back to school.
Like right before New Year's? Every
now and then we would let it up for a little bit, but yeah.
I decorated my neighbor's tree once. I was an adult when it happened. This is when Denise and I were neighbors. And the person that she was living with, they came over and knocked on the door and said, do you want to come help us decorate? And I was like, sure. But no. And we don't do a Hanukkah bush or anything like that. No. No Christmas tree in our house.
What's your favorite holiday movie?
Ooh. Okay, so I love Home Alone. Yeah. But also I really like Elf, which we just watched with Briar. I think Elf is very wholesome. But in terms of like traditional Christmas movies, I've never seen any of them. Every year, the last day of school before we went on holiday break, winter break, whatever they called it, we watched the original cartoon of the Grinch. So I've seen that a million times. But like I've never seen like Miracle on 34th Street. I've never seen National Lampoons. I've never seen
National Lampoons. We have to watch. I think you'll find that hilarious. I love that.
Yeah. Well, also
Shitter's full.
I didn't see a lot of movies that were rated above me when I was a kid. Like if it was rated R in the 90s, I've probably still never seen it this many years later. What about you?
I would agree with Elf. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, definitely. So growing up on Christmas Day, there was always a movie we would watch. Mm-hmm. So USA Network, growing up, I don't think they do it anymore. But growing up, they used to always have the Star Wars trilogy on.
Really?
Starting at like, I think it was around 8 or 10, but they used to run all 3 of them. So me and my brothers would watch that every Christmas. It's not really a Christmas movie, but
it's Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yes, 100% it is.
I've
If
never seen that.
It takes place over Christmas. It is a Christmas movie.
Okay. So if I filmed like my life right now, would it be a Christmas movie?
It's not taking place over Christmas.
Well,
so no.
if it's on the day this is aired. Oh, that's Christmas Eve. Anyway, keep going. What's your favorite Christmas movie, people? Or holiday movie? I mean, I wish I could be like, 8 Crazy Nights is the best movie ever, but it's not. Sorry, Adam Sandler. I like your songs. No, I would say Home Alone, though. But as an adult, anybody else look back and go, how the hell did the McAllisters afford a house like that?
Drug dealer.
And be able to fly that many people internationally? Like, I know it didn't cost as much money to fly then, but go ahead. What else we got?
The weird question of which track is your favorite?
Which
It doesn't even, like, ask what your favorite... Have you ever celebrated Christmas alone? Which track is your favorite?
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, I see one that I want to ask.
Okay, go ahead.
Which is your favorite cuisine at Christmas? So, I don't have much leg to stand on because I did not grow up celebrating Christmas. I still don't celebrate Christmas. I go to his family's house on Christmas and spend it with his family. For me, growing up, Jewish Christmas, the only 2 things that were ever open on Christmas were movie theaters and Chinese restaurants, so that was like my big thing.
Sound like Borat. On Christmas.
Yeah, so like that to me is something like I wish that we could do around here, but the Christmas or the Chinese restaurant that we go to isn't open on Christmas around here. But I will say, when we go to his brother's house and they do like basically like Thanksgiving round 2, that's my favorite. My least favorite personally is ham because I don't eat ham. But we've had like pasta dishes, we've had steak dishes, we've had ham, we've had turkey. Please don't die. But I am one of those people, if there's a restaurant that's catering and I can pick it up, I would want Thanksgiving round 2. What about you? And tons of cookies.
So, yeah, I agree. It's like Thanksgiving round 2. So that's... And then there's something local to us that is like my favorite thing in the world, and that's potato filling. Think of stuffing and mashed potatoes got together and had the most beautiful baby you've ever seen.
It's literally like just a giant plate of carbs. It's delicious.
And I've mastered making it. That, like, I told my brother, I'm like, if you don't want, because we didn't get Thanksgiving here. We
didn't get Thanksgiving at all, really.
Yeah, so I didn't get potato filling. So I told my brother, I'm like, I'm bringing it for Christmas, whether you want it or not.
Right.
Like, even if
I think the thing that makes yours stand out from others is that, like, you can actually, like, still, like, the mouthfeel of having celery in it.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times, like, people, like, cook it down so much that the celery is, like, mush.
Well,
which maybe I shouldn't be eating that because I'm allergic to
Dutch
celery.
area aren't necessarily used for spices either. What? Like, salt to them is spicy.
Spoiler alert, the food here is bland.
It is.
Yeah.
All right.
But I do want to ask a question, all you cookie people, while you find this.
Yeah, go ahead.
How do you keep the cookies fresh for so long? And Brian's like, you don't. You just keep eating them and making more. And I'm like, what's the point of making 100 cookies for Christmas if you're going to eat 99 of them before Christmas happens? Also, shout out to Erica from Kevin and Erica of Kevin's Creations. I used to come over and help her, like, bake cookies. I've done it a few times. I shouldn't make it sound like this is, like... And then the one year Brian's like, I don't believe you. And so Erica was like taking pictures of me actually like in the kitchen cooking and baking and helping. And Brian's like, you Photoshopped this. And she's like, I did not. Anyway, that was a fun memory. I like that. Go ahead.
What's your favorite cake? Favorite flavor of cake or pie for the holidays?
Ooh, okay. Not apple.
Apple.
So, fun fact, I don't like cooked apples. I don't like I don't like the texture of them. So my mom will always say to me, oh, I got your favorite Jewish apple cake. And I'm like, wrong child.
Love it.
And then she'll be like, oh, I got an apple pie. It's your favorite. I'm like, again, wrong child. And he's the whole time like, yay. I keep
telling her, Mom, don't forget the Jewish apple cake for Lindsay. She loves it.
I'm like a pumpkin or pecan. But if I was going with a fruit pie, I would go with cherry. I'm a cherry pie. But I do like cream pies. You don't like cream pies as much.
I don't have a problem.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna like.
I would say probably pecan or pumpkin are my favorite.
I'm not gonna Jones for like a lemon meringue, but if like somebody had it, I'd be like, okay.
Fair enough. What else we got?
Have you ever done anything evil or bad during the holiday season?
I mean, I'm sure I have. I'm human.
Yeah.
But nothing like intentionally malicious.
Do you feel extra motivated at this time of year?
Not at all.
Yeah, same here.
So, I mean, part of the thing with me is that because I don't celebrate Christmas, I don't have to worry about, like, Christmas decorations. What?
Grimmel.
Crimmel?
Grimmel.
I don't know what that
They
means.
say Christmas.
Oh, okay. So, like, at least I don't have that part of the mental load of it, but still, coordinating things, like, it's this time of year, even though, like, she's off from school, and, like, let me tell you, the careers that we both came from before we stayed home with our child, and he started his own business, we both worked holidays. He worked in retail, I worked in radio, so, like, the amount of Christmases and New Year's and Thanksgivings that I've been at work, you know, I don't know where I was going with this, but that's all right.
Talking about doing evil things.
I don't think I've done anything evil.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure I've done bad things.
Right, but that's what I mean, like, nothing intentional.
Yeah, when do you start shopping for Christmas? I mean, for us, we've gone out as late as, like, Christmas Eve.
Let's also preface this by saying he's got a niece and nephew locally who, forever, we have not found out what they wanted until right before Christmas. So
that's because of my brother.
That's true.
Last year, you had to message Maggie. You'd be like, ask your brother,
I know.
too.
So for a lot of our, like, when you do shopping, it's literally as soon as we find out what it is that the kids want. But now they're all older. One's a teenager, one's in the 20s. And so now, and then the boys are also the same. We've got a bunch of high school and college age nieces and nephews. So it turns into, like, gift cards because it's the easiest thing. And, like, I can literally do that, like, day of and be like, here. Yeah.
Have you ever received a luxurious gift?
A luxurious gift?
I already spoke of it. It was the Ninja Turtles party wagon and the sewer set and the figures. That was luxurious to me. Still would be.
I'm sure I have, but nothing is coming to mind. I got a fur coat as a kid, I think, for Hanukkah. It might have been for my birthday. It wasn't my wanting, but my grandmother got it for us, for me.
All right, spoiler alert, if you have any children listening, you need to hush their ears for a second or fast forward for probably a minute or so.
We'll put 2 thumbs up on the screen when we're done talking about this.
Okay. When did you first realize that Santa Claus and his gifts are non-existent?
Okay, let me tweak this question a little bit. Because I did not get gifts from Santa. And I am also a firm believer that Santa needs to not be getting the high-end gifts, but that's a different conversation for a different day. When did I find out that Santa wasn't real? I was in, like, I think 4th grade.
23.
I was ridiculously old, and I said something to my friends at school, and they were like, you know, Santa's not real. And I was like, what? And they just looked at me, and I was like, next you're going to tell me the Easter Bunny's not real either. And they were like, Lindsay. And I was like, what? I didn't celebrate these holidays, so I had no reason for, like, my parents never had the conversation with me about, I always assumed that Santa was real and he just went to other people's houses because we didn't celebrate Christmas. I was far too old to still be believing.
I was about 11 or 12. My mother told me on Christmas Day.
Maybe I was older than 4th grade then, because I feel like I was older than that.
Maybe I wasn't that old. I don't know.
Whatever, I was too old.
Out, and it's because I thought I was getting less presents.
I think a lot of people have that fear.
What do you prefer?
Wait.
Go ahead.
Are we done with that topic?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Kids can come back. Okay.
Are you more of a cake or pie person for the holidays? I guess in general.
I guess cake?
Why not both?
Right. I mean, honestly, I'm more brownies and cookies.
Apple
but
pie? And
it depends on the pie. Like, if you were like, here is a chocolate cake and here is a apple pie, well, obviously I'm not choosing the apple pie.
I'm not choosing the chocolate cake.
Well, there you go.
So I saw something on Facebook. There's a recipe for a peppermint cake or a peppermint pie, but it was made with clear gelatin. It was disturbing because they made the cookie crust, his brown cookie or his Oreo. I don't know what it was. And then they crushed up candy canes and put them in the bottom, and then they poured this clear gelatin-like liquid, and when you cut into it, it was clear, and I'm like, that's disgusting. Like, at least
did they flavor it?
Yeah, the peppermint flavor and stuff in it.
That's weird.
It's still very weird. It's just visually it was disturbing.
So this time of the year, I know you're not a pumpkin spice person.
Not at all.
So people will be like pumpkin spice or peppermint. You don't really like peppermint either.
I don't like peppermint either.
But I will say I am a huge like apple
White
flavor.
chocolate.
Yes.
Hot chocolate.
Yes. The white hot chocolate. Anyway, next. What do we got? Don't mind me making faces at myself.
I mean, what I usually wear during Christmas, whatever I feel like.
We showed up to his family's house in matching pajamas the one year. We might actually be doing that again because he reminded me the other day that we all have matching Hanukkah pajamas, and I wanted to get photos taken, and I didn't do anything about that. So
Is
I'm
there
like,
a custom or ritual? No. I mean, other than going to my brother's, that's pretty much it. Bright color or a light one? So I guess it means like decorations. Do you like the white lights or do you like the colorful lights?
so if my option are like multicolor or just red and green, I'm going multicolor.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I like multicolor.
I like the white lights better.
Do you?
Yeah, I think they're more they're more prettier.
I like there's a house out here that has like icicle lights.
Yeah, it looks like the fireworks.
And Briar keeps talking about how they look like fireworks and they just like drip down, but they're not on very often. But I love looking at light displays. We have an inflatable that we need to put up. Fun story. My daughter was born on Thanksgiving, and when we left to go to the hospital to give birth to her, there was not a single house decorated. But again, because most people decorate around Thanksgiving,
yeah.
When we came home, which was like 2 or 3 days later, like every single house in our neighborhood across the street, every house is decorated.
You can see our neighborhood from space all of a sudden.
It was crazy. I was like, what happened? And that was our first holiday in this house, so...
Yep. So, have you ever gotten hurt during this time? The only reason I'm reading this one is every year, every damn year, either Greg or Trav, my brothers, they were sick at Christmas.
Your mom gets sick.
One or the other was sick every year. Never me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, I got COVID last year for Christmas.
We talked about celebrating Christmas during my childhood. We watched Star Wars. We ate Christmas dinner.
Was Christmas Eve or Christmas Day a bigger thing for you guys?
Christmas Day. My mother, her family did Christmas Eve. They always opened their presents on Christmas Eve. She said that Christmas morning they would, like, the father would do stuff with the boys and the women in the house would prepare the Christmas meal. But we always did our presents Christmas Day.
I always find it really fascinating. Like, some people like Christmas Eve is like their big day, and other people...
I understand because a lot of churches do, like, their Christmas Eve.
Also, you got to figure, if you're a family who like, everybody in your family celebrates Christmas, it's one of those holidays that, like, it's harder to split the actual day and do half of the day with, like, your grandmother's side and half with your grandfather's side, or half, it's easier to be like, okay, we're going to go to my husband's family on Christmas Eve and the wife's family on Christmas Day, or whatever it is. So it was always easy for us when we were dating because we didn't have to worry about splitting time. Thanksgiving always worked out because his family always did Thanksgiving like early, and mine did it at like dinner time.
Red or green?
Red.
Red, I'll agree with that. Have you ever donated food or clothes? You already spoke on that. Is there any ritual you don't like to follow during the holidays?
Christmas in general? No. So there's a few things about Christmas time, whatever you want to call it, that get under my skin. One is, like, a decade ago, people were much more happy holidays. And I know a lot of it is because of where we live. People here will get offended if you say happy holidays and not Merry Christmas because they think you're taking something away from Christmas. But the biggest thing for me as somebody who does not celebrate Christmas, my biggest thing, and I kind of touched briefly on it earlier, is the, if there was kids in the room, tell them to shh again. I don't understand why so many people make the big ticket items come from Santa and not the parents or grandparents or whoever. Like, Santa should be filling the stocking. Santa should be giving the care items, things like that, because then you've got kids who come from lower income families that wonder why. What did they do wrong that they got socks from Santa, but their friend got a PlayStation 5? And as somebody who didn't celebrate it, but I watched other people celebrate, and I could see the heartache that it caused in families because of that's something that does sadden me about.
Seem to 50-50 it. So
and I also why wouldn't you want to take credit if you're spending a crap ton of money?
I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. I think what my parents would do would be like, if my parents got me underwear, Santa got me the socks.
Okay.
If my
I get
parents
that.
got me the turtle wagon, Santa got me
I get that.
You know, like that's kind of what. Do you try to buy presents or try DIYs? So we normally, like she was saying, my nephews, nieces, get them gift cards.
Here's the thing with...
Not done.
Okay.
But my mother, we were trying to replicate a craft that I made when I was in kindergarten with Briar to give to her.
So I think if you're somebody who does handcrafted goods and you are gifting that, you need to know the person you're gifting it to, because like I've seen, especially in the diamond painting community, I've seen so many people where they go, I did a diamond painting for my uncle and he absolutely did not care for it and blah, 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 blah. If you know the person you're giving it to is not the kind of person to appreciate you putting 100 hours or whatever it may be into a handcrafted item, and you're not going to be okay with them never hanging it, never wearing it, never really liking it, then don't do it.
A lot of times, a lot of people with stuff like that, they'll do something they like.
So,
not something that person likes.
For your parents, for example, I would never do a diamond painting for your dad because I don't think your dad would appreciate it. He'd be like, oh, it sparkles, cool.
My father would appreciate it as much as he could.
But he wouldn't be like, let me hang it on my wall and look at it every day. Whereas your mother would be like, this is amazing. You have to know your audience. Mm-hmm. But also, you have to go into it if you are a DIYer or somebody who does like handcrafted goods. You have to be willing to accept if the person doesn't like it. How is that going to make you feel? Because if you put a lot of time and effort into something and you know you're going to be devastated, if Aunt Sally doesn't wear that sweater you crocheted, don't give her the sweater. Don't do it.
All right, so.
Probably have time for like one more good one.
Well, I was saving one more question,
okay.
But this one is real quick.
Okay.
I don't know why it's on here. Chocolate, strawberry, or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy for you. I'm going to say vanilla. Does anybody in the group here like strawberry? Strawberry.
Or do you need to be a Neapolitan person? Have all of it. Are you ending us on one big one?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is your wish for everyone this holiday season?
Holiday related or just like life in general?
Just, that's all I'm asking.
Inclusion.
Would you like to expound upon that? This was a good question. I didn't expect to want
No, inclusion of others, whether it is based off of race, religion, sexual or gender identity, things of that, more inclusion, more acceptance. I've said it before. I think it's really important if you want to raise children to be well-rounded adults, they need to learn more than what exists in the four walls that they live in. Like my daughter, for example, lives in a Jewish household. And her exposure to Christmas is what she learns from her classmates and things like that. She doesn't really watch TV, so she doesn't really get it from that end. But like, they're not going to be teaching her about Kwanzaa in school. That's going to be my responsibility. I want to make sure that my kid knows there's so much more to life than what she's learning in our home. And that's going to make her grow up to be a more well-rounded adult, you hope. But as simple as saying Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas, or don't exclude that kid from a play date because they have special needs. Like, there's a lot of things in terms of inclusion that need to happen, and that's a really big thing. I don't want my kid to be excluded from things because she's Jewish. I don't want her to be excluded from things because, you know, she's got her own diagnosis of whatever, which we're not really talking about, but just that's my big thing. You?
Make this world a better place for my daughter.
I agree with that.
Very simple.
I like how you told me to expand on my answer, and
I know,
a very simple one.
I also can't talk without crying about stuff.
That's true. So. I know. But we are running out of time here. Again, make sure you guys are watching the videos through the playlist, which is linked down below, and it'll autoplay you into the next person's. If you happen to like be coming back and watching the replay, let us know down below. But we're gonna hop out of here because I don't want to run into the next person's time. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. It has been a while since I put up a video, so I appreciate you guys being here. Love, peace, lock of grease. I don't know if there's any fun, quirky sayings yourselves. Thank you, Jerry Springer. But on that note, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much. And before you leave, make sure you give this video 2 thumbs up. One real life, one virtual. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Join the Sparkle Squad. While you're there, hit that notification bell.
Ding!
I do not operate on any sort of schedule. I operate on toddler standard time. And I record while she is sleeping, or like today, sleeping. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Happy holidays!